The air was thick with anticipation. This was not just any match, friends. This was the Torneo Apertura 2025 quarterfinals. Boca Juniors, the Giants against Independiente, the historic Rojo. A classic of Argentine football, played on the sacred turf of La Bombonera. Millions watched, hearts pounding. The stakes, immense. A place in the semi-finals was on the line. Pride, passion, and dreams all converged on this hallowed ground. Who would emerge victorious from this colossal battle? The entire nation held its breath, waiting for the drama to unfold under the Buenos Aires lights. The weight of history pressed down on every player. La Bombonera. Just saying the name sends shivers down your spine, doesn't it? Tonight, on May 20th, 2025, it was a cauldron of pure, unadulterated passion. The stands pulsed with blue and gold. The Zinnies faithful, a roaring sea of humanity, sang their hearts out. Flares lit the sky, drums beat a relentless rhythm. This stadium doesn't just host games, it breathes football. It demands everything from those who step onto its pitch. For Boca, it was their fortress. For Independiente, it was a daunting challenge, a test of courage against the cacophony. The atmosphere was electric, a true spectacle of South American football. On one side, Boca Juniors, led by the astute Sebastian Battaglia. They had navigated their way here, perhaps with a tense penalty shootout victory over Lanús, but they were here, at home, with their 12th man roaring them on. Their strategy? Attack, as always, to overwhelm the opposition from the first whistle. On the other side, Julio Vaccari's Independiente, El Rojo, who had secured their quarterfinal spot with a hard-fought 1-0 win against Independiente Rivadavia. They knew the task ahead was monumental. They needed a plan, resilience, and perhaps a touch of magic to silence the beast. So, the formations were set. Boca, likely in their familiar aggressive setup, aiming to dominate possession and create chances through their talented playmakers like Kevin Zenon and the ever-dangerous Miguel Merentiel. They would look to use the width of the pitch to stretch the Independiente defense. Independiente, in response, would need to be compact, disciplined, ready to absorb pressure and hit on the counter-attack. Their midfield, marshaled by Ivan Marcone, would be crucial in breaking up Boca's rhythm. The stage was set not just for a football match, but for a gripping tactical chess game between two determined sides. The referee's whistle blew and the battle commenced. Que partido, señores! From the very first second, the intensity was palpable. Both Boca and Independiente came out with fire in their eyes. Tackles flew in, not with malice, but with a burning desire to win every ball. The midfield became a war zone. Neither team was willing to give an inch. Pressure, relentless pressure, was the name of the game. Boca, urged on by their thunderous supporters, tried to establish early dominance. But Independiente were not there to simply make up the numbers. They stood firm, meeting fire with fire. Boca Juniors, as expected, tried to impose their will on the game. They moved the ball around, searching for an opening in the Rojos' defensive wall. Miguel Merentiel, always a threat, made darting runs. Kevin Zenon attempted to weave his magic in the midfield, but Independiente's defense, marshaled brilliantly by the experienced Joaquin Lasso, was a rock. They were organized. They were resolute. Lasso seemed to be everywhere, anticipating danger, clearing lines, and inspiring his teammates. The visitors were showing incredible discipline, refusing to be intimidated by the occasion or the illustrious opponents. Chances were few and far between in a tight and cagey first half. Perhaps the clearest opportunity fell to Boca. A swift move down the flank, a dangerous cross whipped in by Merentiel, finding Carlos Palacios lurking in the box. The Bombonera held its breath, but the finish wasn't there. A collective groan echoed around the stadium. It was a moment that highlighted Boca's intent, but also Independiente's resilience in scrambling the ball clear. Both goalkeepers, Agustin Marquesin for Boca and Ruben David Martinez for Independiente, remained alert, though not overly tested with direct shots on target just yet. The tactical duel between Battaglia and Vaccari was fascinating to watch. Every throw-in, every set-piece was contested with ferocity. Possession was surprisingly even, hovering around the 50-50 mark, which spoke volumes about Independiente's courage to play their football, even in such a hostile environment. Boca probed, Independiente parried. It was a half of high tension, of tactical discipline, but without the breakthrough goal everyone craved. As the whistle blew for halftime, the game hung delicately in the balance. Anything could still happen in the next 45 minutes. The teams re-emerged for the second half. What did the coaches say in those dressing rooms? Whatever Julio Vaccari told his Independiente players, it clearly worked. El Rojo came out with renewed vigor, with an added spring in their step. They weren't just content to sit back anymore. They started to show more adventure, more character, pushing forward with greater belief. You could sense a subtle shift in momentum. Boca, perhaps expecting to eventually wear down their opponents, suddenly found themselves facing a more assertive, Independiente side. The game was opening up. And then, it happened. The moment that would define the match. In the 51st minute, the traveling Independiente fans erupted. A beautifully crafted collective play from El Rojo. Quick passes, intelligent movement, slicing through the Boca midfield. The ball found its way to Alvaro Angulo. He anticipated brilliantly, got past a defender with a neat piece of skill. He was in. With composure, with precision, he slotted the ball past the despairing dive of Marchesin. Gol de Independiente. La Bombonera was stunned into silence. Disbelief etched on the faces of the Boca faithful. How would Boca respond to this hammer blow? This was their fortress, their temple. Going behind at home in a quarter-final was not in the script. Sebastian Battaglia urged his team forward. The Zenese players threw everything they had at Independiente. The intensity ramped up even further. But frustration began to creep in. Boca's attacks became more desperate, less cohesive. They struggled to create clear-cut opportunities against an Independiente defense that now had a precious lead to protect. The visitors, smelling blood, defended like lions, throwing their bodies in front of every shot. And when Boca did manage to breach the defensive line, they found an immovable object in Ruben David Martinez. The Independiente goalkeeper was having the game of his life. He commanded his area with authority. He made save after save. A stinging shot from distance, parried away. A dangerous header from a corner, plucked confidently out of the air. Martinez was a wall, a colossal figure between the posts. His heroics were not just keeping Independiente ahead. They were visibly demoralizing the Boca attackers. He was, without a doubt, a man-of-the-match contender. The final whistle blew. An explosion of joy from the Independiente players and their small band of traveling supporters. They had done it. They had conquered La Bombonera. They had silenced the mighty Boca Juniors in their own backyard. Players in red sank to their knees, overcome with emotion. Hugs, tears, celebrations. This was a monumental victory, a true giant-killing act in the Torneo Apertura. For the Boca players, only dejection. The silence in the stands was deafening, a stark contrast to the earlier roar. A bitter pill to swallow for the home side and their passionate fans. This victory is more than just a ticket to the semifinals for Independiente. It's a massive moral boost. It's a statement to the rest of Argentina. Under Julio Vaccari, this team has shown immense character and tactical nous. Now, they march on to face Huracan, with dreams of silverware dancing in their heads. This win will also be crucial in their quest for a high finish in the league table, aiming for those coveted spots in international competitions next season. What a night for El Rojo, a night their fans will talk about for years to come. For Boca Juniors, this defeat is a harsh reality check. Losing at home in such a crucial fixture is always a painful blow. Questions will be asked. Sebastian Battaglia and his squad will need to reflect on what went wrong. Their attack, usually so potent, lacked its usual cutting edge. They created 9 shots on goal but couldn't find the net. They will need to regroup, to learn from this experience, and to come back stronger. The season is far from over, but this exit from the Torneo Apertura quarterfinals will undoubtedly sting. This classic encounter has once again highlighted the incredible parity and competitiveness of Argentine football. On any given day, any team can beat another. This 2025 season is proving to be full of surprises and thrilling contests. Independiente's triumph at La Bombonera is a testament to their spirit, their tactical discipline, and the magic of knockout football. A night of glory for the Red Devils. A night of introspection for the blue and gold. Football, my friends, in its purest, most passionate form. Que viva el fútbol.
If you enjoyed the analysis, smash that like button, hit subscribe for more match breakdowns, and don't forget to comment below. Who was your man of the match? See you in the next one, football fans. Until then, stay passionate, stay tactical.